Wartime CEO, wartime CEO, wartime CEO, wartime CEO, wartime CEO, wartime CEO. Ha! Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Otto Viteri from growthandmastery.com, and today I'm going to give you a really good book review. Stay tuned. What does it even take to build a multi-million-dollar business? And what does it take to learn the skills necessary to become a superior CEO? And what does it even mean, really? Today, we're going to talk about the hard thing about hard things. Reading the hard thing about hard things is like Ben Horowitz getting on your face and rallying you to get ready for business war. Ataka! Oh, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to read this book. This book is about resiliency and what's it really take to build a business. There are no shortcuts to building a business. It really does take determination and resiliency, like the book says. It's just like if you were to give a class on how to be a quarterback for the NFL, or how to be a world-class ballerina, or how to be an awesome singer. You could give a class, take the test, an exam, and even pass it. But when you go out to the field, you get clobbered. Oh, not to worry, all is not lost, my friend. Now, Ben Horowitz assures us that even though you can't teach somebody how to be a CEO, there are lots of tools and techniques and tips that you can learn from the greatest CEOs out there. And he shares with anecdotes about what he went through in his businesses to get through a lot of hurdles. The good news is that you don't have to be formally trained to become a CEO. Look at the major businesses like Amazon, like Microsoft, Apple. All those founders and CEOs didn't go through formal training. Some of them were high school and college dropouts. But let me tell you something, a dirty little secret, monsieur. They did a lot of reading. So when I tell you that you really should read this book, you really should. Ben goes through a lot of lengths to share his anecdotes about what he went through to build his business. He actually built a business as a co-founder and built it into a multi-million-dollar business. Then the business started to go downhill. He almost went bankrupt and the shares were selling for nothing, and he had to rebuild the business until he finally sold it for $1.8 billion. There's a lot of really good lessons learned in this book, and let me share some of them with you. One of them is, if you're CEO, you need somebody to challenge you. The reason why is because everybody underneath you is probably afraid to challenge you. They want to keep their jobs. Ben Horowitz shares that he had a partner with him, and they were really frenemies. Every time somebody had an idea per se, the other person would challenge. They would challenge each other. They would say, "Are you sure about this? That doesn't sound like a great idea. Prove it to me." And they had to prove to each other why it was a good idea, and if they couldn't really keep up with it, then maybe it wasn't that great of an idea. You need people to challenge you. People underneath you are not normally going to challenge you. First of all, they want to keep their jobs. And second of all, they're going to be intimidated by you and not want to say too much. And basically, when the boss says something, usually groups just follow along. So don't get into that trap, because everybody could follow into a cliff and not come back. Another lesson learned is how to fire or lay off a whole bunch of people and have the remaining people left over remain motivated and willing to work for you. A lot of fellow entrepreneurs and CEOs, and after the fact, when talking to him, they couldn't believe how he got away with it. When his company was going down, he had to actually change the whole company around, and that meant he had to lay off a lot of people. And he had to convince the people that remained there to work even harder for him to build a brand new company. So how do he do it? He was very honest with his people. He was very straightforward. Those people who had to be fired, he actually helped them out as much as humanly possible to get them another job, recommendations, and all of that. It wasn't their fault, but he cared for those people and he explained the whole reason. So that was really good of him. That built trust, not only in the people who left the company, but in the people who stayed, because they knew that he tried as hard as possible. He was taking care of their people and he really cared for their well-being. Another lesson learned he shares is how to hire people looking at their strengths, not their weaknesses. Most companies hire for weaknesses, meaning they look at how bad they are in certain things, whether they graduated from a good college, or certain character, where they fit into the company's values or whatnot. But Ben learned that you actually hire for strengths. Not everybody's going to be perfect. And you look around to yourself and to everybody in your company, not everybody's not perfect. So you need to hire for their strengths. Forget the weaknesses, hire for the strengths and what you need them to do. That's why you hire. You have important people to take care of also. Your family, your spouse. Don't forget about them. Take care of them always. The company could be gone. You could do well or you could go bankrupt. But your family is yours to keep. Take care of them. Another lesson he shared is when he learned early in life to learn through bravery. What happened was some mean kid was telling them to go to another kid that was playing with a buggy, and he told him to go and take away the buggy and to insult him. Ben was afraid. He didn't know what to do. The bigger kid was a bully, so he went up to this kid and finally, very timidly, asked him, "Can I play with your buggy?" And the kid said yes, and they became best friends ever since. When he turned around, the bully was gone anyway. Being brave doesn't mean that you're not afraid. It means that you still go for it, even though you have fear in your heart, but you still attempt to do the things you need to do. How to raise money when everybody's broke. Ben built his business during the dot-com crisis. Everybody was going broke. All the companies that he would have wanted to be partners with or their customers were all going bankrupt. He also needed to raise money, and everybody was afraid to invest. What he learned from this is to try again. He tells us that it doesn't matter if there are 30 companies that tell you no, there's always that one company that will say yes and they will provide the funding that you need to continue your business. That's what happened to him. At the last possible hour, he got somebody to actually fund his business, and they were continued on. Another counterintuitive lesson is the customer is not always right. Oh, monsieur, but that's not what they always taught me. Customer is always right. No, there are times where the customer really doesn't understand what they need. And proof of that is if Henry Ford would have asked their customer, what is it that they want? They would have asked for a faster horse. Yeehaw! Giddy up, horsey! He also talks about using profanity in the workplace, and he actually had to deal with this himself. Well, read the book and you'll find out. Now, Ben makes a case that are great CEOs and that are mediocre CEOs. He goes into detail about what the great CEOs do versus mediocre CEOs. Now, one of the cons of this book for me is that he gets into a lot of detail about his industry and what he went through, and a lot of it went over my head a lot of times, and really I didn't need all that detail. But he also comes right back up and explains everything in layman's terms and what somebody really needs to become a great CEO. He really emphasizes the need to be resilient and be determined and never give up the entrepreneurial battle. Wartime CEO, wartime CEO, wartime CEO, wartime CEO, wartime CEO, wartime CEO. Ha! Now, if this book teaches at least one person how to become a great CEO, this book is worth it. I'm telling you, you need to read this book. Get it on audio. That's how I enjoyed listening to the book actually. And I hope this video really helped you like the book has helped me. Now I'm going to be doing a lot more reviews and a lot more content. So if you have any questions about this book, put them in the comments below and I'll be happy to respond to you. Subscribe to this channel for more reviews coming up soon. Thank you and have a great day.